Want to know why 80% of New Zealand is empty? The answer lies within the mountains and rugged terrains of New Zealand. I mean, who in their right mind would want to build their home on a cliff? Unless you are someone who loves living on the edge. Sure, New Zealand is a beautiful country with stunning landscapes and unique wildlife, but it's no secret that the island nation is sparsely populated and has more livestock than humans. Wondering what's the reason? Keep watching until the end of this video and you'll have your answer. New Zealand is almost the same size as the UK. And accurate measuring reveals that this land of long white clouds is even a bit bigger than Great Britain. However, in terms of population, the UK stands at 66 million, while New Zealand has around 5 million Kiwis. It feels like comparing a social butterfly to a lone wolf. So despite being bigger than the UK, why does New Zealand have so few people? Well, one of the reasons is New Zealand's remote location, so let's look at it. Number 1. The country's geography. If you take a look at the nation's map, then you will see how New Zealand is isolated from the rest of the world, and the most nearby places you can visit are the islands in the Pacific such as Tonga and Fiji, even though they are 1,000 kilometers away. The next closest destination will be Australia, which is 2,000 kilometers away, and a flight trip to reach there will take around 3 hours. This means you'll be spending a lot of time and money on traveling to the closest destination from New Zealand, which becomes a challenge for many. Hence, in the end, most of them drop their plan of shifting to this island nation. Moreover, the distance between New Zealand and some other major countries increases the transportation costs such as shipment and air freight. And on top of that, a 3-hour flight from any New Zealand city to Australia isn't at all budget friendly, where on average a person spends around $650 for a one-way ticket and $900 for a round trip. The country's secluded location also causes limited access to specific resources such as technology, raw materials, and artisans, thus making it difficult for small businesses to grow and succeed in their field. The geographical isolation makes it hard to access and settle in New Zealand, thus leaving a high percentage of uninhabited land. And according to new data from Infometrics, New Zealand's population growth is projected to slow down from an annual average of 1.6% in the past decade, 2011 to 2021, to 0.9% in the next, 2021 to 2031. Besides its remoteness, New Zealand's rugged terrains make exploiting the land for infrastructure and agriculture difficult, as almost 30% of the island nation's land is covered by mountains and fjords. So let's check out how the rugged landscape make most of New Zealand impossible to inhabit. Number 2. Challenging terrain. 1/3 of the country is protected by national parks to preserve environmental, historical, and cultural values. And the covered areas turn into national heritage, which restricts development and establishment to maintain the quality. Moreover, places with extremely steep and rocky terrain and dense forests become unsuitable for traverse and habitation. The strong emphasis on protecting their natural landscapes and wildlife, along with rugged terrains, limits land usage for access and settlement. Another reason for New Zealand's low population density is its overall climate. If you love surprises and variance, then the country's weather is just for you. However, many find it difficult to settle and hence have a change of mind. How bad can the weather be? Well, why don't we explore and find out? Number 3. Unpredictable weather. To sum up New Zealand's weather in a few words, it's best to say that the land experiences 4 seasons in one day. If you don't like the scorching summer heat, just wait 5 minutes, and the chilly wind will make you smile. That's how unpredictable the weather in New Zealand is. In winter, buckle up for experiencing dark and gloomy days along with wet weather, and in spring, get ready to fight the coldest months. Not only that, New Zealand's capital is famous for wild winds and is regarded as the windiest city in the world, with an average speed of 16 miles per hour. Wellington's wind can turn someone's bad hair day into worse. That said, you will get more sunshine here as the country has around 2,000 hours of sunlight annually. However, that's not good news. The reason is New Zealand is located right under a hole in the ozone layer that causes exposure to extreme UV rays, leading to sunburn and even skin cancer. And New Zealanders rely more on outdoor activities, which increases their risk of skin problems due to sun exposure. According to the Island Nations Cancer Society, skin cancer is the most common cancer in New Zealand, as the country ranks second for a country with the highest melanoma risk. Around 80,000 Kiwis are diagnosed yearly, and the government has urged its residents to take necessary steps to prevent sun damage. To reduce the risk of melanoma, avoiding direct sunlight, applying sunscreen, and covering exposed body parts are some measures New Zealanders are asked to follow. That said, we can't entirely blame New Zealand's sun for its low population. A report was shared by the country's political party in the previous year with the following heading: 1 million Kiwis set to leave, which highlighted the economic crisis with a high inflation rate of 6.9% that further caused the cost of living to rise, where buying necessary daily items almost became impossible. This leads us to our next issue, number 4. more people leaving than entering. Last year, from the country's migration data, it was revealed that shockingly the annual net migration was negative, with 7,300 people leaving, whereas New Zealand citizens between 18 and 30 years of age were dominating the graph. Many young professionals and graduates are opting for growing their careers overseas, as New Zealand, although great for markets like construction, business, and accommodation, have limited access to other diverse job opportunities. The unemployment rate is at 3.4%, and ongoing migration is making employers worried about labor shortages. Another reason many Kiwis and young graduates leave the country is its high cost of living. Although it's true that New Zealand offers a high standard of living, if we look at its citizens' average salary, most goods and services are often expensive. New Zealand's remote location plays a vital role in the high cost of living. In big cities like Auckland and Wellington, rent for a one-bedroom apartment can cost around 1,900 New Zealand dollars. Considering all other necessities, a single person must earn around 5,000 New Zealand dollars monthly to live a normal life. And as of 2023, the average median wage is 29.66 New Zealand dollars per hour, which, compared to the average cost of living, is hardly enough to support a resident's basic needs. Those who choose to settle in this land of long white clouds have pointed out that almost half of their wages go out while paying rent, which is why many emigrate from New Zealand. New Zealand's vulnerability to natural disasters has also played a role in low population density. Although we won't tag these calamities as the main reason behind most of New Zealand's empty lands, it is still worth mentioning. Number 5. Earthquake prone. New Zealand is located in a seismic zone, so earthquakes often occur almost every day in the country. Although the shockwaves are too small to be felt, the country has recorded that each year about 14,000 earthquakes take place, where 150 to 200 shakes are big enough to be noticed. However, the New Zealand government has taken steps to prevent major damages from natural disasters by investing in earthquake-resistant buildings and infrastructures and establishing advanced technologies to monitor tsunamis and earthquakes. Yet, significant damages to houses, businesses, and infrastructures caused by natural disasters cannot be entirely avoided, which discourages people from shifting to areas that are prone to earthquakes, such as places near active volcanoes or along fault lines. Thus, New Zealand's seismic activity can possibly result in reduced population density in specific regions. Having said that, the nation's capital, Wellington, is the highest risk zone, followed by Hastings and Napier, while cities like Auckland and Hamilton are the least active. And despite being 80% empty, New Zealand still remains one of the most beautiful and peaceful nations with stunning landscapes, rich culture, and the friendliest citizens. Whether you are a tourist or an expat, New Zealand's laid-back lifestyle and breathtaking scenery will make you extend your stay. We hope you enjoyed this video. Does New Zealand's small population make it more or less appealing? Comment below and we will see you in our next video.